I'd like for everybody in here to look at somebody next to you and say, "Good morning." All right. That's just my personality. I'm Larry Davis, Vice Chancellor here at ACC of Belonging and Purpose, and I'm excited to let you hear some wonderful stories from some amazing students who are well on their way to success. And they're going to be able to tell you a few things that we believe will be of value to you. They are joyfully here, and they're going to tell you about their experiences regarding their academic transitions in each of their respective programs so that you will know, those of you who will be new students and future students, you'll know what to experience and what to expect when you enter your specific programs. As you listen carefully to what they share with you, notice that regardless of their and their program's differences, there are two very important things that we want you to take away with you. Number one, it's perfectly normal to worry about whether or not you belong at ACC. And the difficulties that you will encounter during your experience at ACC, they're normal to every other student. And secondly, when you do experience difficulties at ACC, it does not mean you don't belong. It just simply means that with time, effort, ACC's love, most, if not all of you, shall be successful in whatever program you choose. We're going to start off by having each student introduce themselves. They're going to tell you their name, the program that they've either completed or the program they're in process of completing, a little bit of their status. And then after each person has introduced themselves, I'm going to give them 5 questions. At the end of the responses to all 5 questions, you'll have an opportunity to ask some questions if time permits. And so with that, let's start on this end. Introduce yourself.
My name is Inaka Handajani. When you see me, I'm the mature one in here. So I graduated from BATMAT, which is Bachelor Applied Technology in Manufacturing Engineering Technology, through Associate Applied Science, Logistic Management. Thank you.
I'm Dean Barre. I first graduated with my associates in the same program, went into doing the bachelor program in manufacturing engineering, currently working at Samsung Austin Semiconductor and working on my master's certificate at UT right now.
Hi, my name is William. I graduated last year with an associate's in electronics technician, and before that I got an associate's in general engineering. I currently work at Siemens as a technician, working at the tallest building in Texas.
Hello everyone, my name is Valeria Cordova. I graduated with associate's degree in computer aided design, and with that I was able to be a part of the bachelor's program for manufacturing engineering, and right now I am an operator in Flex Electronics.
Hello, my name is Gerardo Perez. I'm in PTech. Last year I got my certification in manufacturing engineering. I'm currently in my 12th year in high school, and I work in accutronics.
Like I tell you, this is an amazing group. We're going to start on this end with our first question. Aniki, tell us, what program did you pursue and why did you decide on that program?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I pursue BATMAT, Bachelor Applied Technology, Manufacturing Engineering Technology, through the associate degree in supply chain. When start, I was a material coordinator, and then I got promoted as a planning analyst. So when he asked that, I was like, it's very flexible program, and then match with my career goal.
Mine kind of came at a weird point because I started right out of high school. And so I became an intern and then apprentice at Samsung Austin Semiconductor at a very young age, 18 to 19. And so it was a very transitional point in my life. And so it only made sense that as I was working towards, becoming a technician full time, that while I'm at ACC, I'm learning a lot of the quality mindset and process approach that would be necessary for me to achieve a higher position at the company that I'm trying to also pursue as my career.
For me, I had gotten my associates in general engineering, and my whole thought process was like, all right, once I have this degree, like the world's gonna open up for me, everyone's gonna wanna hire me, and I started sending out a bunch of applications, and nothing, crickets for months. So after that, I was like, all right, well, let's see what else I can do at ACC. And I really enjoyed like math and physics and sciences, so I was like, well, let's take a look at the electronics technician and see what's going on there, and started getting into, the whole, everything related to electricity, like DC, AC, everything like that, and just fell in love with it and thought that this was the coolest program, the most interesting stuff, and I fell in love and kept going with it, and it didn't look back from there, and somehow ended up with an internship at Siemens, so it all worked out really well after that.
So for me, I was in the computer aid design program with architectural specialization. And I actually heard about the program during my last semester of completing my associates, and I had never heard about it before. So I got in contact with Jolene, I got myself informed, and my whole thing was, well, 2 years are gonna go by anyway, so if I can continue building upon my education, then I can open myself more doors and more job opportunities. And that's exactly what this program has done for me.
Sure, no problem. What program did you pursue, and why did you decide on that program?
Sorry, my mind went blank. The way I went into the program was actually a complete accident. The way I got into it was because the way they were signing people up was by giving them pizza. And so it was my last year in middle school. I joined the program because they gave me a piece of paper, and so I thought I had to sign it. So I signed it. I got into a program. Freshman year was nice, well in class. Sophomore year, that's when we started actually going to ACC. I took DC circuits and learning about materials, and then from then on, I'm actually glad it was a good accident. I'm in a good place now. I got many things from it. I work at electronics now. I got my certification. All these things happened because of an accident. I'm glad it happened.
Great. Now hold on to that mic. You're not off the hook yet. Now we're going to start our second question. Our second question is, and I bet you this question is in the back of most of your minds too, personally. The second question is, Geraldo, looking back, what did you worry about most when you first started your program?
One of the things that probably I was worried about was time, because this program, now that I look back at it, it is time consuming. Like in high school, things happen. It's where you get to meet people the most. But for me, I think time, it wasn't really an issue because, how to say it? Sorry, it's just confusing.
You're fine, you're fine.
Yeah, just time. It was really confusing for me. Sophomore year, the way it worked was I had 4 classes, and then after that, I go to ACC. So I didn't really have time to meet anybody, right? But it turned out well, because now some of my classmates became my coworkers, and so through that, I got to build more relationship with them besides being friends.
Thank you for that vulnerability and sharing. Valerie?
So when I first started, my biggest worry was honestly whether I made the right decision and whether I was even gonna like it, right? Before the job I have now, I was working at HEB, so I had no manufacturing experience, right? I really was only surrounded by customers and retail. And when I started the classes, a lot of my classmates were already in the industry. They were working in Samsung, Applied Materials, and I guess I felt a little bit out of place. But that actually motivated me to go and start looking before graduating to see if I could land a job. And thankfully I did, and now I work at Flex. I've been there 8 months, and it's a great company, and I realized I genuinely enjoy the environment I'm in.
So for me, I was working and going to school, so I'm sure many people here can relate to that experience. It's this constant juggling act of working enough hours to support yourself and pay for your education while also giving yourself enough time to study and do the assignments that are necessary. So I know for me that was a big challenge, and I was always concerned about whether or not I'm giving myself enough time to do the schoolwork, and if I'm giving myself enough time to make the money I need to continue doing the school. On top of that, another concern I had was doing enough to not just be another face. Like, I wanted to make sure that I stood out as someone who really wants to be here and is eager to learn and prove my worth well before it really matters at those like higher level end of course classes.
No, I definitely relate to that experience because when I started, felt like being thrown into the lion den, because it's just like, here I am, fresh face, kid out of high school, and it's like I'm dealing with people who've been in the industry for 10, 20, 30 years who really have made this a career, who have advanced the industry in their own right and just have so much knowledge that it becomes so overwhelming to try to pick up all these new things all at once because you're being surrounded by jargon, equations you've never heard of before in your life. We're doing, logistics a new way this week, or supply chain issues, right? You're trying to understand everything from a front end, back end of the process perspective. And it's overwhelming because you don't know if you're going to fit in or if you're in the right spot. So you always have a little bit of that anxiety where it's just like, did I make the right choice? Am I in the right place? But, ultimately in the end, it's like I fell in love with this idea of continuous improvement, like a Kaizen methodology where it's just like, take every little bit as you can, talk with your peers, see which people relate to you, and you form those kind of communities. And for me, that's what really helped me navigate through the industry, was the people that I was working with that took an interest, and my colleagues that were also studying with me who were also facing these kind of issues at the same time. And overall, taking the whole problem of it and breaking it down bit by bit, it became a lot more easy to manage.
I think when I started as a mom full-time with a full-time job, it's same thing. It's worry like, can I do this or not? With all my age, it's just like, can I do this with this competitor? Can you see all the smartest in here? I was like, can I do it or not? I'm far away from this school, but yeah, I will do it, and I can do it. So, no doubt. No doubt. Mom, you will feel that too if you put yourself in school. So, that's it.
Hold on.
Hold on. Yeah.
Before we go to question number 3, don't you just love their radical transparency and their honesty? Show them some love.
Aww. Thank you.
Now, this is one of my personal favorite questions I'll ask any student that comes to me seeking assistance. And so this is the third question we have for the panelists. What are some things you did to build relationships with your instructors and other students that helped you feel like you belonged?
Yeah. I always come early. When the school starts, I always 30 minutes early to prepare. So if you're working, you have to have connection also with your job when you work with. So you ask, can I come early? I come early, I prepare everything, and I come to sometime talk to the professor. Hey, I have my professor is very excellent professor. I just have a good time when present the logistic management right now. They are very good. They have have a lot of knowledge, that practical, hands-on in my company. I can wow. So just keep connected with the professor. Don't be scared. Don't be scared, professor, don't bite. Don't be scared. It's just, Prof, I have this. If you cannot meet deadlines, like, Prof, I'm sorry, I do this. And then he will okay, do this. And with the friends over here, I treat them like not competitor. I like working together. Colleagues, yeah. I always hey, can you teach me? Don't be scared. Hey, can you teach me, please? I cannot do it. They are the smartest person in the class. Humbly and come to them, ask for, hey, teach me, please.
As Dean prepares to give his response, I want to remind the audience, we're on track, I believe, to have time for some questions from the audience. So if you have some questions that are cropping up now, take a moment and write them down. And I promise with whatever remaining time we have at the end, I'll get to you. All right, then. Go ahead.
Repeat the question, please.
The question is, what are some things you did to build relationships with your instructors and other students that helped you feel like you belonged?
I like to talk, and so when I get to know these people personally, it just makes the experience all that much more comfortable. Of course, coming to them as a person I respect of hey, I'm having trouble with this. Can you please explain this to me during office hours? But also just asking them, how are you doing today? Or giving them a compliment hey, that was a very nice lecture, and just kind of building rapport. Not everything has to be so work-driven, we're all people here, and so it's just it's not just a resource or any kind of material manufacturing. You don't have to think of it so rigidly. It's just talk to one another, hey, how was the game last night, or just try to find some common interests, and be nice and respectful to everyone. And that's just a very kind of mindset that you should have for anyone that you meet, whether it's your instructor, someone off the street, or one of a student sitting next to you, especially when you're spending so much time together on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'd say one of the biggest things is be curious. Don't just accept things as they are. Be curious as to how they work. So I guarantee you're going to take classes that you are not interested in at all, but it's a prerequisite and you have to take it. So I understand in those classes you don't really care, but on the ones that really do pique your interest, don't be afraid to, after class is over, go talk to the instructor and ask questions about things that were really fascinating to you, that really got your gears grinding, and you want to understand more in depth than what's being presented in class. And then on top of that, I also tutored at the Riverside campus, so part of that is in that position, I'm getting to know the professors by doing different things that they need, and students are coming in and talking to me and asking for help. So just over time with all of these experiences, I got on a very comfortable level with everyone there, and every semester there's new students coming in, and definitely I would highly recommend that if there is something that is stumping you, go see the tutor. They're there for a reason. They want to help you. You help pay their check.
Yeah, I'll agree to what they said. Genuinely just talk to people. Sometimes it's scary, and I know coming into a new semester, new classes, new faces, you've never seen them before, right? But with a lot of the program-based classes, you're gonna keep seeing these people. So you might as well start familiarizing yourself with them, right? And most of them just like talking about anything with you. So just go up to them, be nice. Like they said, not everything has to be like school-based. People like to talk about sports, work, family, anything really. And as far as instructors go, all of these professors that we have, they're all great. Like they all have so much industry experience, so many things that they want to share with. And they love to talk about their experiences aside just from classroom-based, right? So yeah, that's one thing that I would say.
For me, mine have maybe been a little bit different. I had friends that from freshman year to now, I still have in my class. Him right there, recording me. Yeah. I have them in my class. I've been friends with them. It's way more easier. We hang out outside of school, in school. I've been around them for 3 years, which to me, that's more than enough, right? But they're still with me. They're still good friends, even outside of high school, outside of work. I still gonna hang out with them, right? Professors, they're really good professors. My PLC class, my CAM class, DC circuits, AC circuits, they all been amazing. They all help you. They'll do what most professors won't, well, most high school teachers won't do, which teach me, you know. But I'm really glad I had the opportunity I had, because I'm not a people's person. I don't like meeting new people. I'm more reserved. I like keeping it to myself. But with my friends, right, things worked a lot faster. We're competitive, so whoever does it faster, I gotta buy them a drink. You know, whoever does it the slowest, they owe me $5. We're competitive. We're fun. It's what it's supposed to be. Learn and be competitive.
I don't know about you, but I'm getting fired up listening to some of these amazing, amazing insights. Now, this question is where the rubber meets the road. When people drop out of a program or quit, it's generally because of this question. So listen carefully to what each panelist tells you. Were there any obstacles or experiences that made you doubt yourself?
So I somehow ended up with the microphone. I can go.
Lucky you, William.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to answer this both from the perspective of a student and also from the perspective of actually being in the industry. So during the courses, taking classes like schematics and AC, you have to start doing like projects where you're actually like doing wiring and soldering and making this whole circuit work. And I remember some program that I was working on, some circuit that I was building that I had started like 2 months before it was due, because I was like, all right, I really want to make sure that this has all the kinks worked out. And there were, I think, an entire week of just troubleshooting and not figuring out what the problem was, staying up till like 2, 3 in the morning and just driving myself crazy because I'm checking and double checking and triple checking and nothing is working and I don't know what's wrong and I'm ready to throw this project against the wall and give up and just go to bed. But I persevered and eventually found the issue, and it's one of the most satisfying feelings when you have that bug in your code, in your project, in your circuit that you finally figure out and resolve. You're on top of the world. So, and that happened multiple times with different projects. So it's going to happen. As far as in the field, like actually with Siemens, I remember during my internship, one of the senior techs that I was working with said, hey, this device over here isn't working, I need you to fix it. I'm like, can do. In my head, I'm like, I've got no idea how I'm gonna resolve this. And I get up there and I'm like, oh, well, it doesn't have any power. And me being wet behind the ears, I don't really know what's technically our responsibility or what falls on other trades as far as what they need to do. So I'm checking some wiring. I'm like, oh, well, here's the problem right here. and I fix the wiring, and I close it up, and I turn the dial, and pop! And I just blew a 480-volt transformer. So after that, it was very, I think I had like a sad walk for like 30 minutes where I'm like, how am I going to tell them that I just messed this whole thing up? I'm going to be in so much trouble. And, eventually just came out with it, and we got the whole situation resolved, but that was definitely one of those situations where I was like, man, I don't feel like I know what I'm doing, and it's very dejecting, but it all does work out in the end.
Definitely burnout. Doing work and school at the same time can be really grueling, especially when maybe the class you're taking isn't exactly your area of expertise or you're learning it for the first time. You can, if you're working, sometimes you're on maybe an 8 or 12-hour shift, and then you gotta go home and learn something new, or the first problem turned out to be wrong, and you got a lower grade on the homework than you anticipated, and you're starting to question the decision you made after high school, and you got tricked in with pizza. I think they just left a W-2 under a box, and then they just pulled the string after they caught me. And so you start wondering, that's when it goes back to do I belong here after making such a mistake at work, and then having then go to take my exam and not feeling too comfortable about it. So burnout was definitely a hurdle I had to overcome, taking it bit by bit, taking it day by day, and ultimately learning from what didn't work and trying to then, say, the next semester improve, either if it was a scheduling issue on my end or not getting enough sleep or something, mundane.
Exhausting. Yeah. It's just full-time mother, working full-time. I have to catch the train because I use the train, commuter. My office is close to Breaker, so I walk 10 minutes from the train and then wake up around 4:30 every morning. Yeah, that's mother. That's mother. Don't oh, no, that's mother. So we have to prepare everything at home, start to work. In the train, I study. I have 45 minutes study there. Yes, exhausting, but it's worth it. Study, school is worth it to improve your life. That's it. Valerie?
Do y'all want to add any comments?
It's the obstacle question, right?
Yes.
Okay. For me, it was whether I belonged or not, right? Being a female in a male-dominated field. Even in class, I think I'm one of 3 or 4 girls that are in the class. Everybody else is boys. No, y'all are good. Y'all are great. Y'all are really nice people. I felt like I didn't feel represented, right? But now that I work in the industry, I see so many ladies, so many women in supervisor positions, management positions, engineers, and they know so much, and they see me, and I ask them questions, and they're so willing and open to take me under their wing and kind of guide me and be like, this is what I did, this is how I did it. And now I feel so much more confident seeing them every day, not just on the floor, but upstairs in the offices, seeing all their hard work, and I'm I'm gonna be there one day. And that just motivates me even more to continue and see this through.
I think I agree with being burnt out. Recently, I started my 12th year, right? For me, my schedule looks something like I wake up 6:30, get out of the house, the sun's coming up, go through school, go through work, I come outside, it's night, right? I don't really have time. I have classes, homework, tests I got to study for. It's just a lot, right? By the time I eat, I go do a little workout, and I do my homework, it's already 11, 12 p.m., 12 a.m., right? Being burned out probably will get to me at some point, but it's just 1 year, right? Wow, it is a lot. I have people, good friends, great people that I know that help me out. I have things like my friends, my family, co-workers, also my friends, and people that just give me the answers for the homework, you know. But as long as I pace myself and I do the things correctly and I'm not faltering in my studies and my work, I think finishing probably would be the best thing, right? I mean, I put in 4 years, right? What's the point of just quitting now? I'm just gonna see it through, you know. If I do get burnt out, well, then I'll just worry about it then. But for now, I just keep pushing myself. But yeah, just having great people around me really helps just getting things done.
Thank you so much. See, folks, just when trouble comes, as Gerardo said, see it through. Last question we have for the panelists, and then afterwards, I do believe we'll have a couple of minutes for some questions from the audience. Last question for all of you is this: what were some positive experiences that confirmed you were on the right track? What were some positive experiences that happened to you that confirmed you were on the right track in your respective programs?
For me, it was just, well, I would like to say, I want to say like my friends and my family, but realistically, it may be harsh, but my first paycheck, I saw that number, I'm like, man. I saw the number, I'm like, you know, this ain't too bad. You know, I can hold off a little bit more.
Amen.
You know? Yeah, just seeing that number really like motivated me in a way, but at the same time, people also motivated me in the right way. It's just not that just a number. It's like the fact that I pushed myself and those hours that I thought I wasted, time I wasted, actually did benefit me in some way. And just seeing that number made me really appreciate my hard work.
Right.
One of the positive experiences I had was, so one of the classes at the beginning of the program for the BAT program is the Continuous Improvement Methods class. And they talk about all the tools, the acronyms, methodologies that manufacturing companies use every day. And I was overwhelmed. I was like, this is a lot. This is a lot of information getting thrown at me. What am I doing here? And when I started at my job, the first few weeks, I was walking around and I would see the signage. And I'm like, NPI, I know what that means. SMT, I know what that means. 5S, I know what that means. And I was like, wait, not me actually learning at school and then seeing it at work. And I was like, I'm not lost. Like, I am right where I need to be. And that kind of realization that I had was like, this program genuinely prepares you for the real world and for a real job, right?
Very nice. Again, I'm going to go twofold, one for school, one for actual work. So I took AC circuits and schematics with Professor Rosa Carrasco, who I recommend everybody here take a class with her because she's absolutely incredible. In her schematics class, one day there was talk about internships at Siemens, and she pulled me aside after class and she's like, I strongly recommend that you go to this and you sell yourself and you apply for this internship. And just hearing the serious tone in her voice really told me, I was like, wow, she really believes in me. She really thinks that I can do this, which at that point there was still some uncertainty in myself as far as, am I good enough? Am I not? How do I stand up? And so I went through with it. I went to this open house seminar thing and stepped out of my comfort zone because I was like, I'd rather just sit back and not have to deal with people I don't know. But I was like, all right, I'm going to get out there. I'm going to shake their hands. I'm going to hand them my resume. And, they reviewed the resume and they liked it and did a couple interviews and they brought me on for the internship. So shout out to Professor Rosa Carrasco for that one. And then for actually being out in the field and working, I worked part-time for like 9 months as I finished up school, and then they brought me on full-time and immediately threw me on a project working at South Austin Medical Center doing their women's expansion. And I get there, and it's just me, and I've got a project manager, and I'm like, all right, when's the lead tech coming on site? And he's like, you are the lead tech. I'm like, great, I don't know anything. Well, I'm gonna get this figured out. And so I had to familiarize myself with tons of equipment that I had like kind of seen before, but never really worked on, like the programming language and all the mechanical stuff. And it was the most worrisome point in my career there of feeling inadequate, not knowing what to do, and constantly calling coworkers to help me out, begging and pleading, like, I think I broke something, please. And eventually finished that job out and got accolades from my managers saying like, oh, you did such an excellent job on that despite like not being equipped for it. Like we're really impressed by your work. And so that was my confirmation that like, all right, that I belong here.
I think the one that my parents liked the most, that it made me realize like I was in the right spot, is when I bought my own car, so they didn't have to worry about making that purchase for me. So that was kind of like where the snowball effects started to roll. And at work, it started with feeling like I'm being fed to the lions every day. I don't understand what they're talking about, to now where I'm writing the documentation that my department is following. And that was kind of a gratifying feeling because it's me taking all that experience that I learned throughout the years in school and work and applying it to a process improvement that's trying to make a difference in safety, quality, and overall just a culmination of everything that I've been learning to here's what I'm actually trying to do to help my department or help the company that I'm working for out in a daily operation aspect.
I think I'm in the right track when I saw my daughter, just like as young as you guys. They said like, Mom, I'm proud of you. That's what the first achievement for me, like, I set an example for my daughter. The second one, I get a scholarship from HEB. I'm in the right track, somebody pay for my school. Right? And then the third one, I get promoted in my office. So ACC is like all the way with me to put me in the right spot as right now. So put yourself in school. Thank you.
That's amazing. Let's give them a hand. There are a couple of things I'm going to do before we get some questions from the audience. First of all, I'm going to ask Sonia to be my timekeeper. Sonia, let me know when it's 12:48, and then we'll put things to a stop. Secondly, I want to acknowledge someone who's here, who there was a miscommunication, has happened sometimes, and we had 2 high schoolers. So this individual graciously decided, you know what? I'll let my other high school colleague sit on the panel, and I want him to stand. And Gabriel Galvin, I just want to acknowledge him for his spirit. We appreciate you so much, and thank you. Now, first question is going to come from RD, and the reason I'm giving it to RD is he was the very first person to raise his hand, and then after he gives us his response, then I believe you are next, and so we'll give you the opportunity. You just exercising? Okay, already tells me he was just, okay, all right, I do. All right, go ahead, shoot.
So one of the things that you learn coming here is that it's not just you, right? Talk to us about the community and other people and relationships you formed in your path through ACC.
Okay.
The people I met in my associates, I am still seeing them to this day. Whether it was in the cohort for the bachelor program when I came back, or now at UT when I'm sharing the same classes with them. So those connections are still with me to this day, whether it's with me right now academically or still in my contact who I can call at any time to just be a friendly voice or hang out with them, or if they need me, I'm there, or if I need them, I can go to them. It's just an ever-long connection that I'm happy I got to meet them through ACC here.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm working in the company right now, and one of the graduates from ACC also applied there. So the connection doesn't stop. I tell my boss, hey, there is a good student over there. You need to hire them. You need to hire him. And then he did. So yeah, the connection between friends over here is not stopped right here.
And also the professors here are also trying to rank up, and so your associate professor that started in DC circuits might actually be like the dean of the department chair for the entire, ACC. So, things happen.
All right, I think those are the responses. You had the second question, ma'am.
I did. I wanted to ask, are your professors the most valuable connections for working in the industry that you either want to go to or are in right now? And if not, then who is it to you?
Great question.
Do you have anything off the cuff? I mean, it's definitely a great idea to get to know your professor, because I talked to Professor Rosa Carrasco and her helping me out there. So without her, who knows where I would have been. I've definitely developed a more personal relationship with a few other professors as well. And, that's why they reached out to me to talk here, because they know my story. They know the trials and tribulations I went through. So, I definitely feel very honored to be here and be able to represent, my ACC and tell you guys about my story. So definitely get to know your professors, and you never know what might come your way because of your relationship with them.
Okay. Oh, Aniki.
So I have professor named Robert. He is the one that teach me how to negotiate. Thanks, I don't negotiate. I can negotiate with my husband, but with other people, I'm like, what? And he teach me very good. It's not about win or lose. How about your confidence and make them good, have a good feeling too. So you already win there. So you have to know this kind of trick with the professor. And then also professor back there, my professor also, Master Sean, is very nice and very knowledgeable professor. Okay?
He was my professor too.
All right, we have time for one final question, if there is one. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to ask? And that will be the last question to our panelists. Oh, excellent, excellent. We have a future student,
Yes.
a genius, that's going to bless us with a powerful question to bring out some good answers. Come on, sweetie.
Why can't I study at my age at a college?
Say that again?
Why can't I study at my age?
Well, I think you can study at your age. We got lots of continuing education opportunities and things of that nature, but let's let the panelists answer that question. How old are you, by the way?
9.
9 years old. All right. Panelists, any of you want to take that on?
Chemical engineering. I would say practice your math basics because they are going to follow you everywhere you go. Don't listen to the students that say, "Oh, math is bad. You know, it's boring. I don't want to do it." Every career, every problem-solving task or puzzle is going to require some level of mathematics. So make sure you practice your basics.
Any other panelists want to answer a question?
Programming is also really good. Recommend that. There's so many different types, so many different languages. Pick one, learn it, you'll be good.
All right, then. Well, let's give the panelists one more. This concludes, of course, our panel discussion for today. We trust that all of you new and prospective students and families have learned 3 things. We trust that you've learned adversity in the college experience is normal, regardless of the program you choose. We also trust that you learned, however, that by using your own strengths, lived experiences through good, hard faith effort, and proactively using the resources and people, whether it's faculty or staff, available through our ever-evolving and more user-friendly systems and processes that, which is the final thing, all of you can be successful in completing your program that you chose, and you will leave ACC with the skill set necessary to achieve a family-sustaining wage, and you will thrive wherever you choose to live and work. On behalf of the Advanced Manufacturing Academy of ACC, have an amazing rest of the day and the best of blessings always.